Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is December 31st. Happy last day of 2024 to everybody out there. Taking a look here at the infrared satellite imagery on the GOES 18 satellite. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon. Next system starts to move in tonight, and it's going to bring some interesting precipitation type for some locations. We'll take a look at that in a little bit of detail, and we'll take a look, of course, at our forecast over the next few days and the extended forecast. And I'll get off that browser there, getting a little bit of technical difficulty. But you'll see that this is the European hot off the presses, the 12Z run. So as we go in towards tonight, this is about 10 o'clock tonight, some of this precipitation could briefly start as a mix across maybe the Kitsap Peninsula and maybe some of the east portions of the Puget Sound lowlands here, but it's not going to be sticking or anything. You're not going to be looking at slick roadways or anything like that, but it might make for a nice scene. However, east of the mountains things are a bit cooler here, so except for some of the lowest valleys here, you might see some of that accumulating snowfall. It should not amount to much for some of the lower elevations. Definitely going to be better for the higher terrain. But that'll be going on in through Wednesday morning. That system swings through, and then quickly another round of precipitation rolls through as well. And again, this could bring some precipitation I-90 north towards Highway 2 for eastern Washington, but you see a bit warmer there for eastern Oregon with that one. Then we have another system rolling in here as we go through Thursday night into Friday, and then a low pressure is going to park itself somewhere off our coastline here as we go through Friday. You know, a blustery pressure gradient to the south of that for some of the Oregon coast as this system moves up and across. And we've got another rain as we go through Saturday night into Sunday. Seems to be never ending here, but we do get a break as we go through. It looks like the early portion of next week we start to get a break until the next system starts to roll in Tuesday night. We're starting to look a bit far out from the forecast there, so who knows how that is going to change in the future. Big low moves up across the Gulf of Alaska towards South Alaska here, and we start to try to develop some ridging, but it's going to be a question how long it's going to hang out and how some of these systems are going to be impacting the Pacific Northwest. You see the Pacific high out here as well. And now I'm scrolling up over 300 hours, so kind of looking at the tea leaves there. But now taking a look at total snow Kachar ratio in inches, and you can see a little bit of that snowfall maybe in for the Kitsap Peninsula, but better amounts east. And again, it might look nice out there for some elevation, some locations across western Washington. I mean, it does show a little bit lower into some of western Oregon as well. But again, it would just be kind of a nice scene. And then we scroll on in towards the upcoming days here, and this is total snow. I mean, we're building some snow up across the Cascades, or not an exceptional amount, not what we can get at this time of year, but you have to take whatever Mother Nature throws your way. Now, take a look at the North American model. So high resolution here. We're scrolling hour by hour, and this is about midnight tonight. And it doesn't show too much. I think it backed off a little bit, but it shows a little bit there near Highway 101 here maybe as you go up on the other side of the Kitsap Peninsula. And again, snowfall here for some eastern Oregon, eastern Washington, except for the lowest valleys. And then we scroll off in towards Wednesday night into Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. Another system arrives here, and that could also start a snow for eastern Washington there as well. Now, total precipitation in inches, we're going to scroll through this fairly quickly here because there's system 1. You can see not too much for Seattle, but again, this bullseye for Northern California, Southwest Oregon will be ongoing as we go through the week coming up. You can see the precipitation increase across portions of Oregon. Seattle starts to get up towards an inch by the time you get towards January 3rd, and then we start to push off into the future. And you can kind of see nothing too crazy. The biggest amounts across Southwest Oregon, Northwest California, and we are getting some precipitation, some decent amounts across some of the higher terrain, but nothing like what we can't handle. Shouldn't be too much of an extreme flooding risk or anything of that nature. Now, this is kind of an interesting look at the northern hemisphere. You got Greenland here, you're talking about Siberia over here, there's Alaska, here's Japan, there's the Hawaiian Islands, and there's Washington, Oregon right there. So if we take a look at this cold air, we are just in this pattern that is not favorable for getting colder air, and that snow potential, at least a significant snow potential down into some of the lower elevations. And if I scroll through this, you can see some of these lobes of cold air moving down across the eastern portions of the USA in the extended forecast, and no signs of it right now getting back down in towards the Pacific Northwest. Sorry to say, but we'll continue to watch that. My hunch is that we'll eventually get our chance as we go through some portion, maybe later January on in through February. You guys know how that goes. We'll see how that goes, and we'll be checking back daily. You'll probably hear it here first. if it does start to change. Now take a look at the artificial intelligence. We'll put this into motion, and again you can kind of see the westerlies and these systems impacting us here in the Pacific Northwest as we go through January 3rd. There's the 4th, and then we start to try to build that ridging here across some of the west coast of North America, and you can see the deep trough and some colder air there for eastern portions as I scroll back and forth. So you got that yin and yang in the atmosphere. Are we going to switch that up eventually? I know all the snow lovers here across Pacific Northwest hope so, and I do too. And then you can kind of see as we go through January 13th and 14th, I mean, look at this polar lobe just taking aim at the Great Lakes and portions of the eastern U.S., leaving us with a big ridge there. But the good news is we've got nowhere to go but up from here as far as the winter weather lovers are concerned. I mean, look at this ridge here as we go through the mid portion of January. Hopefully that flips for us. Now, I was going to look at the extended. I guess we can scroll through this here pretty quickly, but it didn't show much. I ran this once before here this morning. You can see the ridging kind of dominating the Pacific Northwest. Something emerges a little bit further out here, but I mean, you're looking all the way towards the end of January at this point. So this is basically worthless for entertainment only, but you can kind of see the ridge building across the Gulf of Alaska. This is almost too far east there. This would keep the coolest air, you know, just east of the Rockies for us, but some of that could clip us. But anyway, this is just purely entertainment at this point anyway. Now, the 46-day temperature anomaly, though, does continue to show that signal there for some above average, some below average here for western portions of the USA. So we'll just kind of take that and run with it. But the 6 to 10 day above average west coast, look at that precipitation below normal signal starting to emerge. 8 to 14 day above for the west and below for the west as well. This was issued yesterday. But the seasonal temperature outlook, just a reminder, this was issued on December 19th. Climate Prediction Center does show that below normal here for the Pacific Northwest and above. So, you know, not all chances are done just yet. We'll see what the later portion of January and February has to bring. And I showed this yesterday as well. You can see we really started to drop off the cliff there in the La Nina region, the ENSO region. La Nina is starting to rear its head a little bit here. Is it going to be in time to bring us La Nina conditions? That is the question, and we'll be watching that as well. You can see where we do measure those conditions between 170 and 120. It has definitely cooled off, and it's looking a bit more like La Nina across the equatorial Pacific. And the CFS has been showing this drop for some time now, and looks like it's actually coming into fruition. And these are some of the shots I got the last few nights. I got some really good shots yesterday as well. I was not able to zoom in quite as much, but I'll probably process some of that today. I'm going to go up one more time today at least and do some documentary work up there and try to make a video about Kilauea, because it's a pretty rare situation where you see it actually fountaining up like this in the crater. I've never seen it before, and I've been coming out here for 20 years or so. You just kind of see the glow in the crater and whatnot, and sometimes it's not erupting at all. So this was a very nice treat for my vacation out here, no doubt. It's made for a spectacular show each and every night. And what was I going to show you guys there? I believe my picture wasn't showing up. But anyway, yeah, channel's doing great. We're getting towards 92,000 subscribers. And surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, but I guess 50% of the people who watch the videos are subscribers. And I guess that is an extremely high percentage for a YouTube channel. So much appreciated to all my followers out there. Yeah, you guys make this all possible. And otherwise, I'll try to do my normal briefings here for the next couple of days. I should be back in my studio at home by January 3rd. So look forward to that as well. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys later.